So we know the government doesn't give a shit about Irish people, and that's just putting it straight. And of course, the safety of Irish people means nothing to the government. And they're well protected. Micheál Martin, Catherine Connolly, the rest of them are all well protected, well guarded. They don't have to worry about somebody breaking into their house in the middle of the night. They don't have to worry about somebody, causing vandalism, antisocial behaviour, etc. And we see this in our county, in the county Cavan here. And the simple fact is, for too long, the government have got off with a lot of stuff. And again, the government are literally letting these people do it. What would you call them? Perpetrator to this crime, to be totally honest. So, basically in Cavan, we lost 65 Gardaí since 2016, which is not that long ago when you think about it, that we lost 65 Gardaí. Not many have come to replace the platoon to replace the Gardaí that we lost too. So Table Sapphire, I just want to talk and Ballyjim stuff. They used to have 6 Gardaí in 2026, and nowadays they only have 4. So that's 2 gone. There were 6 Gardaí stationed in Belturbet in 2026. Now there's only 2. So think about that. And Belturbet's a big enough area. Just I'm out the road from Belturbet here, and there used to be 6 of them. Now there's only 2 of them. In Blackline, there's less than 1 Gardaí. 1 guard in Blackline, 1 Gardaí. So yeah, pretty much in Cavan, there was nobody stationed in West Cavan anymore. So Cavan Town, and obviously too, just to add that, but Bunboy Garda Station was promised a few years ago under the programme for government to reopen and never did, Alan Shattle. Cavan Town, the main Garda station in the constituency, of course, in Cavan and Monaghan too, went down from 72 to 65. So think that's the main Garda station in Cavan, that it's 2016. And then we go on and on and on. Take this up, Mulla used to have 2, now has none. Killashandra used to have 1, now they have none. It's just, the list goes on. But it just goes to show you that they simply don't care. And it's simple as that. They just simply don't care about the Irish people. They simply don't. Because if they did, they would have the Gardaí. They would be paying them. Of course, it's a tough job being in Garda Síochána. And of course, the Gardaí are more worried about thought crime than they are about real crime nowadays. So a lot of people probably say no. And not many will Irish people join Garda Síochána anymore, because they are just a farce. As we've seen, they go around beating up own grannies and stuff. But they won't beat up the people causing trouble. But we see loads of burglaries. We see a lot of rural burglaries in County Cavan, a lot of farm burglaries, etc. And there's elderly people afraid to go to bed at night because they're afraid of being burgled, being terrorised, being kidnapped. God knows what happened to them. But this is the thing, it's just a simple reality. And unfortunately, there's a revolving door too, and this is the other problem too. When they fucking do get caught, the judges let them off the cuts. Because it's the judges, what they expect. The judges just let them off with a fully suspended sentence and maybe a €50 fine. But then they'll be out the next day doing the same thing again, because that's just what happens in this county. It's just the same fucking shit every day of the week. And nothing's ever done that. And what I feel sorry for, like people like myself, they never broke the law. I'm 23 years in this out. I never broke the law. I never had anyone in on Garda Síochána. I'm doing the right things, and as a Christian too, you have an obligation to respect the law and to abide by the laws, not for yourself, just for society too, because you have an obligation to society. But of course, that's all meaningless, because there's people literally with 70 or 80 convictions, and they're only maybe in their 40s, and you're wondering to yourself, what the fuck am I bothered by asked to do? And a lot of these people are getting free legal aid, the whole shebang, money handed to them by the state. It doesn't make any sense, and I have to go out and work for it. And, I get fuck all from the state. The state fucks me over in every conceivable way. But these people get off it. It doesn't make any sense. But your crime pays, it seems to be. But years ago, the old saying was, be straight and be honest with people, and be upfront and be good to people, and try and be good to people. Nowadays, unfortunately, it's stab people in the back if you can, pretty much, and there's no consequences for it. Years ago, at least, there was consequences. Nobody fears anything nowadays. They don't fear God. They don't fear the state. They don't fear anybody. Now the state obviously wants people to fear when you commit talk crime. Don't worry about that. If you commit talk crime, don't worry the state, and make sure you fear the state. But if you commit real crime, they don't want to know about it. We see how many people that commit sexual offences against children, against women, etc., just walk out of the courts, like literally walk out of the courts, and the judges don't want to know anything about it. Like, it's purely evil what we're seeing in this country. Purely evil. It's satanic, to be totally honest. Because all this was by design. It's not pure incompetence. Like, it's simply not pure incompetence, because it's just too widespread. It'd be different if we could point to one specific place that it wasn't, but it's around the country. It's around the countryside particularly, because every Garda nearly, I think for every 4 Gardaí that join the Gardaí nowadays, that's nearly 3 of them go to Dublin and 1 goes to the countryside. So take for example, you underpower in the countryside. And of course there was a lot of Garda stations years ago. Now they're not open, they're just lying there. Fans of it. But anyway, let me know what you think. because I do think the government has some responsibility for any crime that's committed, because they're pretty facilitating it. I would need to say co-conspirators, to be totally honest, in these crimes, in murders and stuff. The co-conspirators, because again, a lot of these people too are well known to the Gardaí when they commit these crimes. A lot of people have just come in from from somewhere else and caused these crimes too. But yeah, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more, and what do you take? Bye.